Hi, Kristi. If I'd have known I was sharing tonight, I'd have worn a longer skirt. Let me set this timer. Yeah, I got this phone the other day. I walked in there. Oops. There we go. Walked in there to get it. Walked in to get a cheap phone, right? And only an alcoholic's going to walk out with one of the nicest phones that does this. And I walked out without paying a thing for it. Still a thief. On the way home, I was thinking, they can make a phone that folds. And they can send this piece of metal with a computer on it to the edge of our galaxy. Why can't they produce a pill that I can take that protects me from the obsession of my mind? Right? Then I thought, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to need another one. I'm going to need one for my allergy. Then I go, oh, shit. I'm going to need one for my ego. That's going to be a big bill. Anyway, I'm really glad to be here. So my story is, my first AA meeting was in 1982. My first sergeant thought it'd be a good idea to go check out Alcoholics Anonymous. I went to meetings and said, hey, it's not for me. Anyway, I ended up getting in trouble not too long after that. Then my next meeting was in 1993. I was working for a guy, running parts, machine operator, and I'm running parts and I'm crying. And he takes me outside and he says, you never got to feel like this again. He knew. He knew I was drinking. He knew I was doing meth. He knew my life was a mess. And he knew I was depressed. And he knew that he was connected to the answer. Anyway, went to my first meeting and decided that Alcoholics Anonymous was for me and started getting sober. Not long after that, 9 days, my girlfriend got sober too. And we built a life together for the next dozen years. It was pretty good too. But I never expanded on my sobriety, my spiritual life, the stuff we need to do to stay sober. You know, it was about 9 months sober and life was getting good. I got this good job. We moved into a really nice apartment. We both had cars. The money was coming in. Kept going to meetings, but didn't do anything, right? Went to meetings, shared like I knew everything. Sponsored person here, sponsor there. But managed to stay sober a long time. 9 years sober. My sponsor went out, didn't get another one. But at 12 years sober, almost 13, I'm in my garage and found my son's marijuana pipe. I go, oh, one hit's not going to hurt. Shit, that was October 2005. By June 2006, I was divorced, single, and alone. Pretty quick, huh? And I was drinking every day then, as much as I could. Anyway, so the last 18 years, I've been in and out of AA. I mean, I never left it. I knew the answer was here. I knew I was sick. My life sucked. I get a little bit better, and then I go out. Usually it was 2 or 3 months, sometimes 6. One time I had 15 months. Got a sponsor once or twice. Just, I wasn't willing to do it. But 19 months ago, this is what changed my life. I was trying to kill myself with booze. I was doing a pretty good job. Found myself in the emergency room 3 times in about 3 weeks. The last time I walked in, I was at work. And my coworker said, you need to go to employee health. I just threw up in the trash can. I'm sweating. And so I did. And the employee health goes, you need to go to the emergency. So I go to the emergency room, and in our emergency room at work, they triage you, then they put you back in the waiting room, and then they bring you in and give you a room. Well, they were starting to triage me before they even got done. Next thing you know, I'm in a room. I got 5 people working on me. They had me hooked up in I'm not kidding, it was 5 minutes. Had an IV running. They were taking blood, everything. Well, I found out later I was pretty sick right then, and they were afraid I was going to die on the spot. I had almost succeeded at killing myself. But, and here's the miracle of it is, so I'm in the emergency room at the hospital I work with my coworkers for alcohol poisoning. Plus my liver and kidneys weren't working right. My, all the numbers you're supposed to have weren't there. And sitting next to me after they got me stable, social worker, one of my best friends. We've been working in the same office for almost 10 years. And he looks at my chart, he looks at me and he goes, Kristi, this is unsustainable. I knew exactly what it meant. He goes, quit drinking or you're going to die. So we came up with a plan that day. And that's why I'm here today. Because we've put the good plan together and we put it to work. I kept smoking dope, marijuana for another year. Then I had to quit that because I couldn't breathe, right? So I hadn't been in AA yet, but I wasn't drinking. But I was using marijuana. That was my answer. And then I couldn't use it anymore because I couldn't breathe at night. So I quit that. I go, no problem, I'm good. Well, about 3 weeks later, life showed up. It's really hard to deal with life on life's terms when you don't have a program. And so I went in to pass it on. A couple meetings in, I asked the guy to be my sponsor, and he got me busy right away. And my life has changed ever since then. And that was 8 months ago. And I'm so thankful. Got me started on the steps right away. 1, 2, 3. Started working on the inventory. He didn't give me much time to do it. We did 5. I went to my favorite spot in the Northwest, did 6 and 7, right? My men's list, took it off the 4th, and then my sponsor said, no, don't start yet. He added a few names to it. And then I got started on 9 and made those. I'll tell a little story on one of the 9s was my ex-wife, 17 years. I called her up. I go, so I'm back in the program again. She goes, again? I love her. And I go, yeah, I'll just check in with you. Is there any amends I owe you that I kind of passed over or, I just kind of give you a shine on or anything like that? She goes, oh, no, we're good. I go, okay. She goes, by the way, I got your 3rd edition. I go, oh, great. She goes, so what's your address? So I gave her my address. And I'm thinking she's going to send me my 3rd edition, right? With all my cool notes in it. About a week later, there's a letter from her. I'm like, there's no book in that letter. Anyway, I opened it up. And I had some more amends to make. So that's a pretty cool story, I think. Because there's some stuff I had forgot all about. And let me tell you, she hadn't. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, and so then started working on, daily maintenance, 84 to 88. That is where I made the wrong turn 20 years ago. For me, just going through, doing the house cleaning, and stopping right there is why I went back out. I had a pretty good solid base, had a good sponsor, and I was doing a lot of the things right, so it kept me sober for a while. But I really wasn't happy, joyous, and free. So when I seen that marijuana, it was real easy to light that pipe up. I can tell you today, if I ran across a pipe, I wouldn't be lighting it up. No desire at all. So, and I do 84 to 88. I don't read it every day. I used to till I almost had it memorized. But that's what I do. That's what I do in the morning. And I think about in the evening what I've done, and, the good stuff. I take inventory of the bad stuff, do anybody amends, and I do that stuff. And during my day, if I get fearful, I ask God to remove the fear. And when I identify resentments, I thank God and ask for direction how to handle them. And the biggest thing I try to do today is I try to see what it is I can put into life instead of take. Because my whole life I've been a taker. Manipulate you to get what I want. As long as it's about me, we're good. And today I'm trying to do the other thing. And you know what I found? It's really what I wanted all the time. Didn't even know it. I am so happy giving, being of service. And it's just a real blessing. I never, even when I was sober before, I was not able to lay my head down at night and go to sleep. It's really nice to be able to lay your head down and go to sleep. It's really nice. Instead of it running about you screwed that person over, you lied here, you manipulated there. It's hard to sleep when you do that. But, I did pretty good. That was the short version. Anyway, I hope someday I get to share the long version. But my first sponsor, he's still out there. I really loved that guy. He was great. My ex-wife, she's still out there. She's an awesome, awesome person. She's sober. Thank God for that. My kids, they've let me back in their life today. It got kind of rocky there towards the end. You know, they didn't even want me over. And so I go over with a bottle. I go over with a bag of weed, put them out in the garage. I was always out in the garage. And then hugging the grandkids, smelling like booze, you know? And then how drinking and smoking changes your personality and your attitude and all that. So all those relationships were kind of touch and go, but they're doing really good. In fact, I'm having lunch or dinner with my daughter on Monday. Very cool. I show up with love gifts. Her and her friend, they're going to college. And so I show up with two girls. So I show up with this big thing of toilet paper, big thing of laundry soap, big thing of soap for the dishwasher, and a couple bags of fruit, vegetables. It feels really good. You know, a couple years ago, I'd have been showing up with a bottle. In fact, that's what I did. I show up with a bottle. Today, I show up with goodies. It feels really good. I'm really thankful for this program. And I do understand that if you want to keep what you got to give it away. And you got to keep growing or you're going to go. And the most important thing for me is that I have a God and I let him run my life. Because running my own life doesn't work. But letting him run it, taking his direction, with the help of my sponsor, you people, the meetings I go to, got a pretty good life. You know, I didn't hurt anybody today. The day's almost over. Probably have a pretty good night. I'm grateful for Alcoholics Anonymous. I want to thank you for asking me to share. And I love this group, by the way. I don't miss it unless I'm sick. Anyway, I'm Kristi Alcoholic. Thanks. Thanks, Kristi.